Libra, listen closely. God needs to speak to you now, not tomorrow. This can't wait. There is a divine urgency stirring in the spiritual realm, and somehow, Libra, you've been chosen to receive a message that must reach you today. Not next week. Not someday. Right now. That's how sacred this moment is. Something is shifting in the heavens, and you, the soul of balance and beauty, are at the center of it. You were not randomly led to this video. Your soul was summoned here. You've been carrying a question in your heart, haven't you? A quiet but persistent whisper that something is off, or about to shift. You've noticed the signs, strange dreams, repeated numbers, moments where time pauses and your intuition flares like lightning. This is no coincidence. Libra, this is divine orchestration. The universe has been waiting for you to slow down long enough to hear the message, to feel the call, and to answer it. I won't sugarcoat it, we are entering a prophetic window. And some messages cannot be delayed. Some truths arrive wrapped in silence, and unless you are fully present in this very moment, you might miss the very answer you've been praying for. As a content editor and a spiritual seeker myself, I've seen thousands of videos that speak of transformation, prophecy, breakthrough. But this one is different. Why? Because the energy behind this message didn't come from a trending topic or algorithm. It came from something higher, something eternal. And it came with your name on it, Libra. Today, I want you to feel held in a space that isn't about performance, but purpose. I want you to feel seen not as a viewer, but as a soul in transition. A soul that has endured. A soul that has been tested. A soul that heaven is now rewarding. But only if you are awake enough to receive it. There is a message hidden in plain sight, encoded in the next few minutes. And it won't make sense through logic alone. It will reveal itself through energy, through synchronicity, through a memory that stirs while you're watching. Something will click. Something will resonate. That's how you'll know it's for you. So Libra, breathe. Tune everything else out. This isn't just another video, this is a divine appointment. What you hear today may be the missing puzzle piece you've been waiting for. And if you feel something shift within you as you listen, please don't keep it to yourself. This is your sacred space. Confirm you're receiving by leaving a comment below. Write, "I'm listening," or even share your birth date or angel number if you feel called. There's no pressure, only alignment. Your voice matters. And when you speak in this space, something spiritual gets activated. Your soul tribe will find you. Your affirmation becomes part of the collective manifestation. So now, beautiful Libra, let's begin this sacred conversation. Let's listen together with hearts wide open and distractions laid to rest. Because when heaven speaks, it speaks softly, but powerfully. And today, it's speaking to you. Sometimes, the soul waits for certainty, for the perfect alignment of logic and peace before stepping into destiny. But what if the silence you're experiencing is actually the divine invitation itself? Libra, your sign is ruled by Venus, beauty, harmony, balance, but beneath that grace is a deep, often hidden knowing. And that knowing has been whispering lately, hasn't it? Through dreams that linger too long, chills that come with no wind, numbers that follow you around like sacred breadcrumbs, especially 777, the number of divine intervention. This isn't a coincidence. It's cosmic orchestration, and your spirit is already picking up the signals. The waiting has served its purpose. But now, the pause has turned into a prison. Think of the story of Esther, not born into royalty, not seeking power, but called in a moment when everything in her spirit said, "It must be now." She didn't know if the timing was perfect. She just knew the cost of silence was too high. Like Moses, who argued with God, unsure of his speech, unsure of his readiness, but the call wasn't about his confidence. It was about obedience. Both of them learned something vital. Divine timing isn't about when you feel ready. It's about when heaven moves. Libra, your energy often dances with duality. You weigh every side, every possibility, every what if. But there comes a moment when discernment must yield to faith. Because right now, you're not being asked to leap blindly. You're being asked to listen. That anxious tug in your heart? That's not fear, it's urgency. And when heaven presses on your chest like this, it's not a warning. It's a sacred summons. We live in a world that conditions us to wait until we've fixed ourselves, healed completely, or perfected the plan. But what if God isn't asking you to be perfect? What if He's asking you to be present? What if the opportunity you've been longing for doesn't come wrapped in clarity, but in the mess of holy interruption? It may look like a difficult phone call, a door that's barely open, a chance that feels too small, but it's the gateway. And if you ignore the knock, if you turn the volume down on your intuition one more time, you may miss the miracle hidden in the mundane. Right now, you are being reinvited into alignment, not the old kind of balance that required you to please everyone and keep the peace at your expense, but a deeper, truer symmetry where your soul leads and your life follows. The time of observing is over. The time of interpreting the signs has passed. Now is the time to respond. So let me ask you, Libra, what have you been putting off, not because it's wrong, but because you didn't feel ready? What inner door have you refused to open simply because no one else could validate it for you? Why do you keep waiting for the universe to scream when it's already been whispering? The truth is, your moment of shift won't come with fanfare. It comes when you say yes in the silence. And what if this yes doesn't just change your path but someone else's too? Remember, destiny is rarely about just you. When you rise, someone else remembers they can rise too. When you obey the pull on your soul, you become a lighthouse for another who's still lost in the fog. You've waited long enough. The door is cracked open. The call has been made. All that's left is your answer. Sometimes, what appears as peace is merely silence in disguise. For Libra, a sign that naturally gravitates toward harmony and equilibrium, this quietness can often come at the cost of inner turmoil. You've likely spent years swallowing your pain, smoothing out the rough edges of other people's chaos, and keeping the family secrets locked behind closed lips. But no one notices the toll it takes when you're always the one who keeps the peace. The universe does. God does. And now, they're urging you to break that inherited pattern, not to create conflict, but to birth freedom. This is the sacred moment where silence must be transformed into truth. When the family karma has traveled far enough down the bloodline, and someone you must be the one to say, it ends here. Perhaps you were never given the permission to speak. Maybe speaking up meant being rejected, judged, or misunderstood. But now, Libra, keeping silent is no longer protecting anyone, it's only preserving the very chains your soul came here to break. Think about Esther not simply as a biblical figure, but as an archetype of bravery. She did not step into the king's chamber out of desire. She stepped in because silence was no longer an option. Like her, you are standing at a divine threshold. You don't need a crown or a title. You don't even need everyone's approval. What you need is the courage to say, "This is not okay. This will not continue. I will not pass this pain down any further." You are not just healing yourself, you are rewriting the energetic script of generations. And yes, that's a sacred responsibility. But it is also a liberation. What if speaking up doesn't ruin everything, but finally begins everything? What if your "no" is the most healing word your inner child has been waiting to hear from you? What if your voice is the permission slip your ancestors never had? So I invite you now, take a pen, take a deep breath, and begin to write down all the things you've held back. The conversations you've rehearsed but never spoken. The truths that burned in your throat but died behind a polite smile. Write them. Let them live. Then, when you're ready, say one of them out loud, even if it's just to yourself in the mirror. That alone can shift the entire energy field around you. And when someone crosses your boundary next time, try this: pause. Breathe. And simply say, "No, no," just once, not with guilt, not with apology, but with clarity and love. Each time you do, you send ripples of transformation through your own body, your family line, and even into the timelines of your descendants. Remember, healing is not always loud, but it is always honest. And your honesty is the most sacred offering you can give, not only to yourself, but to everyone who comes after you. Have you ever broken a cycle in your family, even in a small way? Or are you feeling the weight of being the strong one for too long? I'd love to hear your experience in the comments below. Your story could be exactly what another Libra needs to feel seen, heard, and inspired to begin. You are not alone. And you don't have to carry silence any longer. Every season of your life has a sacred window, a brief, shining moment where everything aligns just enough for the breakthrough to occur. For Libra, the next 48 days are one of those windows. You felt it, haven't you? A sense of restlessness in your spirit. A calling to make a move, yet a strange fog of hesitation keeps returning. But what if I told you this resistance is not your own? What if the very energy that delays you is the same force trying to distract you from your divine timing? Often, people wait for the right moment, imagining it will come with bells and lights and certainty. But destiny rarely arrives that way. It whispers through subtle nudges, recurring signs, an inexplicable pull toward a certain decision. For you, Libra, those whispers are no longer whispers, they've grown louder. You've seen angel numbers. You've felt your intuition sharpen. You've sensed a door behind the veil, and now, all that remains is your willingness to step through it. If you act now, if you take even one step, the entire energetic field around you will begin to rearrange. The moment you choose to align, for blessings will begin to move toward you. First, a financial door will open. This may come as a new income stream, a long-awaited payment, or an unexpected gift. The money is not random, it's the universe responding to your obedience. Secondly, a person will show up at the exact moment you need help. They may offer wisdom, opportunity, or simply a kind presence, but they are a divine appointment, not a coincidence. The third event may feel like a loss, but is in fact your liberation, a relationship, connection, or silent contract that has been draining your energy will quietly fade away. Do not chase it. Let it dissolve. Its expiration is an act of protection. Finally, your spiritual senses are awakening heightened intuition, empathic awareness, even prophetic dreams. These are not gifts in the conventional sense. They are tools for the new chapter you are being called into. Take a moment to sit with this. You are not being punished for delays in the past. You are being invited to move differently now. And to do that, you must support your body, your mind, and your energy field with intentional action. Track the moon phases, especially the moon in Aries for bold initiation and the moon in Pisces for intuitive insight. These are not just lunar events, they are energetic catalysts designed to harmonize with your soul's rhythm. Rewriting your financial beliefs is also essential. What were you taught about money? What do you believe you deserve? Your reality follows your beliefs, so shift the blueprint. Journal phrases like, I am worthy of consistent, peaceful abundance, or money flows to me with purpose and joy. Let these affirmations become your energetic software. Don't underestimate color therapy, either. Indigo blue can calm your mind and attune you to spiritual messages. Violet pink hues stimulate your crown chakra and help open the channels of soul communication. Wear them. Surround yourself with them. Let them become reminders of your alignment. And as you walk into this new dimension of yourself, repeat this truth in moments of fear. Delay is the strategy of darkness, but movement is the mark of the chosen. Let your steps be bold. Let your voice be clear. Let your energy declare to the universe, I am ready now. You already hold the key. All that's left is to turn it. There is something remarkable about the way you've always carried yourself in chaos, Libra. While others unravel or retreat, you somehow become still. Not silent but still. Not invisible but powerful in a quiet, grounding way. That's not an accident. That's not weakness. It's divine coding. The truth is, your soul blueprint was written with balance woven into its DNA. You are not merely a peacekeeper, you are a soul architect, holding opposing forces together until transformation emerges. From a cosmic perspective, your zodiac sign is ruled by Venus, the planet of harmony, love, and refined beauty. But more than aesthetics, Venus in Libra gifts you the ability to see into the hearts of people, to intuitively sense dissonance, and to adjust the unseen levers of energy that others don't even realize exist. This is why you often find yourself at the center of difficult relationships, tense family dynamics, or group situations where nobody seems to agree. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. Your presence, your tone, your wisdom. They realign the space. And the truth is, people may never thank you for it, but the universe sees it all. Those who carry this kind of spiritual assignment often feel lonely. Not because they are alone, but because their role requires a level of emotional and energetic maturity that others haven't yet reached. You may have wondered why you always have to be the one who forgives first, the one who thinks before reacting, or the one who makes peace between people who should know better. And yet there is strength in that role. It's the same strength that Deborah embodied in ancient times. A prophet, a warrior, a leader. She didn't ask for the spotlight, but she led with fierce discernment. Just like you do now. Archangel Raguel walks closely with souls like yours. He doesn't just guard the scales of justice, he restores harmony where it's been shattered. And when you take even 15 seconds each morning to breathe and whisper, Raquel, align me with peace and truth, something shifts in your energy field. Your spiritual nervous system calms, your thoughts recenter, and your light gets stronger. You begin to remember, you're never alone. You're part of a network of soul keepers whose purpose is bigger than individual recognition. Even Ruth the quiet, faithful woman from ancient lineage chose love, loyalty, and alignment in a world that had broken her. She didn't shout. She didn't rebel. She realigned herself with a higher truth. And from her came legacies that reshaped destiny. You carry that same spiritual legacy, Libra. Your choices, especially the silent ones made in integrity, are writing a future your family and soul tribe will one day thank you for. Try this. The next time you feel torn between pleasing others or honoring your truth, pause and ask yourself, what truth do I need to live today? Write it down. Let it be your anchor. Because this isn't about being liked. This is about being aligned. And if today you're feeling misunderstood or worn down by always having to be the one who holds it together, let me remind you, you are not the only one. There are others across time, across continents, across soul groups who are wired just like you. They are the unseen forces keeping the world from tilting too far in any one direction. You are part of that sacred lineage. You don't just maintain peace. You create new realities with the light of your soul. And that is a power far greater than the world knows how to measure. There's a quiet war happening in the hearts of many Libras right now, and it's the war between peacekeeping and truth-telling. You've carried the mask of harmony for so long that sometimes, even you forget what your soul truly desires. But true inner peace doesn't come from avoiding tension. It comes from releasing what no longer serves you. And often, that requires honesty so deep it shakes the illusion of comfort you've tried to protect. It might seem safer to smile than to speak, to nod than to challenge, or to compromise than to confront, but the cost of that safety is heavy. When you constantly suppress your own truth in favor of appeasing others, you begin to disappear from your own life. Your voice fades into a whisper, your needs are postponed indefinitely, and your dreams dissolve in the name of not rocking the boat. But your soul wasn't made to sink in silence. It was made to rise in authenticity. In energetic terms, the second chakra, or sacral chakra, is deeply tied to emotional truth, creativity, desire, and the ability to feel and express your inner world. When this chakra is blocked, we often feel emotionally numb, indecisive, or disconnected from what we truly want. The color burnt orange, or earthy orange, has long been associated with this chakra, acting as a warm invitation for suppressed feelings to safely resurface. Something as simple as wearing this color, lighting a burnt orange candle, or painting with it can activate subtle shifts. You're not just choosing a color, you're choosing to reconnect. This isn't about being confrontational or harsh. It's about choosing to stop shrinking. And it begins in the quiet space where you meet yourself with honesty. Ask, what are the 5 truths I've been afraid to say? The ones that sit heavy in my chest, unsaid, unheard, and unhealed. Write them down. Look at them without shame. You don't need to act on them all at once, but acknowledging them is how you stop betraying yourself. Even saying, I don't agree, once a week is an act of spiritual courage. It tells the universe, I matter. My perspective matters. My soul has a seat at the table. And slowly, the guilt of not conforming begins to lift. You start to reclaim the energy you've poured into keeping everything calm on the surface, energy that could now be used to create a life that's genuinely aligned with your values, your vision, your voice. In therapy, we often speak of false peace as a trauma adaptation, a survival mechanism learned early on to avoid abandonment, conflict, or rejection. But you are no longer that child. You are an evolving soul with full permission to speak, feel, and move differently now. The greatest healing doesn't come from changing the world around you, but from becoming safe enough to tell the truth within you. Your truth is not a threat, it's a river. And the longer it's dammed, the more pressure it builds until it breaks in a flood. But when you gently allow it to flow through words, boundaries, creativity, and color, you give yourself the chance to breathe again. To laugh without fatigue. To live without pretending. To love without apology. So maybe this is your invitation. Not to burn bridges, but to light a lantern. Not to scream, but to speak. Not to demand, but to declare softly, clearly, and consistently, "This is who I am, and I'm allowed to be." Because when you are finally honest with your soul, peace doesn't just visit. It lives with you. And from that place, Libra, the real miracles begin. Libra, if you've made it this far, then I know one thing for sure: something in your soul is awakening. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. The divine timing of your arrival here was orchestrated long before today, and the truth is you were meant to hear this now because your transformation cannot wait another day. There's a shift happening deep within you. You can feel it, can't you? A silent knowing, a sacred tension pulling you between the life you've lived and the life you were born to lead. And the difference between the two? It starts with a single decision: to believe that the key has always been in your hand. You see, you were never meant to fit into the mold of what others expect. You were never meant to remain small, silent, or overlooked. You were designed with precision, crafted with purpose, and your very existence is proof that the universe never makes mistakes. It's time to rise, Libra, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is ready. You're being called to become the keeper of your own destiny, to stop waiting for permission and begin walking as though the blessing has already arrived. Because it has. Every affirmation you've written, every tear you've cried in silence, every moment you held on to hope when there was no evidence, sight has not gone unnoticed. Heaven took notes. And now, the gate is open. But here's the part many forget: miracles respond to movement. It's not enough to hear the message, you must act as though it's already true. Speak the words. Take the step. Close the door. Say the prayer. Write down your new truth and live it, again and again, until the universe has no choice but to match your frequency. So, I invite you now to declare it. Boldly. Publicly. Spiritually. Comment 777 below to confirm that you've received this activation code. It's not just a number, it's a divine sequence, a signal to the universe that you're aligned and ready. Like this video if something in your soul is rising right now. Subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot if you're ready to walk this journey, not alone, but as part of a soul tribe, one that's awakening, just like you. And remember, the most powerful transformations don't come with thunder. They come with quiet conviction. With the whisper that says, "It's time." So I leave you with this blessing: may you have the courage to be honest. the strength to let go, and the faith to trust what's unfolding even when you don't fully understand it. You are the key holder, Libra. And the key? It's been in your hand all along. Now, will you turn the lock?